Hello, super quick intro. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can disassemble and then reassemble the Enigma puzzle in the simplest, easiest to follow way that I can find. Now there is the possibility that if you are not solving this for the first time, if you've already disassembled it and then reassembled the Enigma puzzle and now you're sort of looking for the easiest way to do it, there is a possibility that you've reassembled your Enigma puzzle backwards. So what you see in the video is going to be very slightly different from a starting position. Essentially, what I call the long tail part of the puzzle is going to be the wrong way around. Now the solution will still work, but you have to just essentially flip everything around and do a little bit of trial and error to figure out what that flipping around is. But if you are here solving it for the first time, then just follow the steps and it will solve. The important part is then getting it back together in the right orientation. Now let's crack on with how you can disassemble the Enigma puzzle. So here is a fully formed Enigma puzzle. Now before we start, I'm going to describe each piece differently. So it's obviously made up of three parts. This part I'm going to call the circle part, just because it's close to being a circle. And these other two pieces I'm going to call the short tail piece, this one, and the long tail piece here. For obvious reasons. This one's got a long tail, this one's got a shorter tail. And for orientation, so that you can follow along easily, or as easy as it possibly can be, because this is not a tough one to solve, I'm going to hold the short tail piece in this orientation for as much of the solution as I can. I'll tilt it at times so you can see certain moves a little bit clearer, but for the most part it's going to stay in this position just so it's easier to for you to follow along to. Now the first move, what we're going to do is we're going to take the circle piece, we're going to twist it up into here, and we're going to slide it using that first gap into the short tail piece here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab the long tail and we're going to pull it all the way through, and what that allows us to do is take the circle piece and pass that short tail and this circle of the long tail piece through the circle into here. And then if we bring that long tail over the top, we get into this position here with the two pieces here separated. Next, we're going to slide the circle piece onto the short tail piece again, and we're going to follow that around with that long tail piece here. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take that long tail and we're going to pull it all the way over to this position. And then we're going to go with the circle and we're going to put the circle over the shorter part of the long tail piece. And once it's in this position here, we are then going to unwind that long tail piece again. Okay. Next, we need to manipulate the circle piece so that its gap on the middle piece can slide over the short tail piece here. Okay, so that gap is going to round this bit again. However, the difference with this time is that this long tail is going to pass through this circle piece as it goes around. So we slide it around and that long tail goes through the puzzle and to the other side. But we keep going with the circle piece and we keep going all the way around the short tail piece as well. And then we can separate the circle piece from here by just sliding it back over that short tail and separating it from there. And these two pieces, the short tail and the long tail, are actually harder than you think to separate as well. So this is the orientation we want. We're going to get the short tail to a point where it's clashing with the long tail here. And this is the only move that requires a little bit of force. What we need to do is get this short tail to this side of the long tail. And all we do is just apply a little bit of pressure and ping it over to the other side from there. And then we can slide that long tail piece around here and separate those two pieces like that. And that is how we disassemble the Enigma puzzle. And to put the Enigma back together, we just reverse that whole process. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold this short tail piece in this orientation as much as I can, so it's easier for you to follow along. Now this first move, it is vital you get this orientation right. We are going over the top and into the short tail piece with a long tail piece in this position here. You can do this whole process coming the other way, coming from underneath, but you end up with a backwards Enigma puzzle at the end, which will make it harder for you to solve when it comes to repeating this process. So we go in the top with the long tail piece here, and what we're going to do is slide that piece around the short tail, turn it over into this position, and again we get to that position where the short tail is catching on the long tail, so we just use a little bit of force to push it to the other side, and then we're going to leave the long tail in that position there while we do a couple of moves with the circle piece. So we're going to take the circle piece and we're going to put it onto the short tail piece like this, and then we're going to come around the actual tail of the short tail piece. We're going to go over the top of that, and then we're going to slide this around here as well. But while that happens, we want the long tail going through that circle piece there. So we pass it through and we keep it, make sure it stays through there as we slide around and into the short tail piece. From there, we're going to grab the long tail and pull it all the way through. And what that allows us to do is go over the top of the long tail piece with the circle piece. And from here, what we're going to do is slide the long tail piece off. Now here it's very common to get caught here, so obviously I want to slide this long tail piece off here, but the circle piece is getting in the way. All I need to do is just pass it to that side, and then I am free to pass that long tail around. And then the same thing happens here. It's very common as while I'm sliding that circle piece off for this long tail piece to get in the way. All I do is get that out of the way to that side, and that circle piece can slide around from there. Now with the long tail staying in this position, what it allows us to do is pass the short tail and that little circle of the long tail through the circle piece and into that position there. Then all we need to do is bring that long tail back over the top, and then the final move, we're going to take this circle piece, slide around that short tail piece, and we have a fully assembled Enigma puzzle. So there it is. Now, hopefully those steps were easy enough for you to follow along to. I tried to make it as simple to see. It is a fiddly puzzle, the bits do fly about, but hopefully I've done a decent enough job that you can, or have already successfully followed along and solved the Enigma puzzle for yourself, or helped you reassemble it after you disassembled it. And even though this is a solution video and I am showing you how you solve this puzzle, it is still hard to follow along to. The Enigma puzzle is one of the hardest Hanayama puzzles that I've done so far. Currently it is the 5th hardest puzzle that we've done. And even knowing the solution, it's still hard to follow along to because of the almost infinite amount of positions and things going through each other that you think is progress, but it's actually leading you astray. It's just tough to do. It is just tough to do. Its level 6 out of 6 rating is very much warranted. But that's it. Hopefully that helped you solve the Enigma puzzle for yourself, either for the first time or so that you can resolve it again and again and sort of learn the routine so you can show off to your friends, or just do it in your spare time. If you struggle with any part of the solution whatsoever, please comment below and I will get back to you as soon as possible with any tips or tricks that I can help with to help you solve it in the end. As I said, it is a very, very tough one to do. And if you want to see me struggle with the Enigma puzzle for the first time, or solving any of these other Hanayamas and the step-by-step solutions for those, then click my face here to subscribe. You can watch some of those videos just over there. And until next time, peace!